Adam. The government is trying to signal to people concerned about the costs of net zero policies that it is on their side. But there is one big net zero commitment that it is sticking to, at least for the moment. That's the commitment to ban the sale in the UK of new petrol and diesel cars from 2030. There are two big problems with the policy. The first one being infrastructure. Are there enough charging points and enough energy for those charging points? And the second is tax. If the government says goodbye to fuel tax that it currently gets, of course, from petrol, how does it make up for it? And it is quite a large sum. Let us talk to Stuart Adam, who is senior economist at the Institute for Fiscal Studies, and in a moment to Mike Hawes, the Chief Executive of the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. Good morning to you both. And Stuart Adam, first of all, tell us about the tax problem. It is a large sum, isn't it? Has the government at the moment got anything like a plan to replace it?
Good morning, Justin. There is a sizable chunk of revenue that the government stands to lose from this. It gets about £25 billion at the moment from fuel duties. That's about 2.5% of total revenue, 1% of national income. So it's not the biggest tax, but it's a pretty large chunk of revenue that is due to disappear as we all move over to electric cars. Now, the government could just let that disappear and raise the revenue it wants from income tax, VAT, corporation tax, whatever else. But there are reasons to carry on taxing motoring. Driving electric cars still causes harms to others through congestion and accidents and wear and tear on the roads and things like that. The government has said that as we move to electric cars, it wants to carry on getting revenue from motoring, but it has essentially not said how it wants to do that. It said that electric cars will become liable for vehicle excise duty from 2025, but that's a much smaller tax, won't bring in anything like the revenue that we get at the moment from fuel duties.
Is your suspicion eventually, Stuart, that they'll have to settle on just charging people by the amount of miles that they drive? In other words, that electric vehicle owners are going to pay more tax on their cars?
I think so. If you want to carry on getting tax revenue from motorists, then really the only game in town is going to be road pricing of some form. Now, that could be a simple tax per kilometre driven that's uniform, or you could make it more complicated and have it varying by time and place, so it looks more like a kind of congestion charging, so that while we're raising this money, we actually do something to discourage the harms that congestion causes, the time we all lose sitting in traffic jams.
OK, well, look, that's very helpful. Thank you, Mr. Adams.